Hi everyone, this is my presentation on Module 3, Leadership Styles and Ethics. Leadership styles and characteristics. From all of my research, I identify with being a diplomat. And as diplomats, we are the affiliated force that keep groups together and typically build deep personal bonds with our employees. We rate very highly in feelings. We are very social. We are the social glue, an affiliated force that keeps group together. We're very kind. We're very giving. We create bonds with our employees. We're able to resolve conflicts, with our employees. Working for a diplomat is often more fun and social than working for other leaders. Diplomats also, we work together to avoid making people feel uncomfortable or being anxious. My other style of leadership is a visionary leader. As a visionary leader, someone who's very clear about what he or she believes in and know what is best for children when it comes to their academic, social, and emotional learning. The leader's individual beliefs have developed in collaboration with other stakeholders and articulated into some kind of vision or mission statement. And also, a visionary leader talks and walks the school's vision. His or her actions constantly align with the school vision, and furthermore, he or she has a plan of how to implement this vision and every day take action towards leading all stakeholders towards this vision. I identify with being a servant leader, I would say. From watching the YouTube video, that's what I identify with the most. Growing up, I was always, serving and working in the community and volunteering my time. So from the 10 leadership theories that were presented, I identify with servant leadership theory. It's mostly, how can I help you? What can I do to help you? What can I do for you? Rather than serving, rather than being served. Very, very important to identify and meet the needs of my followers in creating an environment of trust and cooperation. From the Leadership Compass self-assessment, I identify with SOUT/empathy. I understand how people need to receive information in order to act upon it. Integrate others' input in determining the direction of what's happening. I am value-driven regarding aspects of professional life. I am supportive of my peers and colleagues. I have a willingness to take other statements at face value. I believe in my intuition. And I am very receptive to other people's ideas. I am also a team player, and I believe, in the words of being, right and being very fair to other people. Some of my approach to work style, there's a lot of them, but a couple of them are understanding how people need to receive information in order to act upon it. Value-driven regarding aspects of professional life. Again, use professional relationship to accomplish tasks. Display willingness to take other statements at face value. Feeling-based, trusting my intuition. Very receptive, being a team player. Build on ideas of others, and focus on the present moment, and also being fair and right again. Style taken to excess, may lose focus on goals when, they believe relationships. Sometimes, my style of leadership can, have trouble saying no to certain requests. Internalize difficulty and assume blames. Prone to disappointment when relationship is seen as secondary to task. Difficulty consulting, confronting, and dealing with anger. May be manipulated by anger at times. May overcompromise and avoid conflicts. Personally, I don't like conflict. So I definitely can see myself, in a position where I am avoiding being in conflict, with a staff member, or if I have to talk to a staff about something that happened. Yeah. Some of my leadership traits, one of them is vision. I see myself, like I said, as a visionary leader. So, great leaders, have a vision. They can see into the future. I can see myself as someone who can see into the future. They have a clear, exciting idea of where they are going and what they are trying to accomplish, and are excellent at strategic planning. Having a clear vision turns the individual into a special type of person. I can definitely see myself as that type of leader. And this quality of vision changes a transactional manager into a transformational leader. While a manager gets the job done, great leaders tap into the emotions of their employees. So I can definitely see myself as that type of leader. So these are definitely, I can say, one of my leadership traits. Another one of my leadership trait is courage. One or more important qualities of a good leader is courage. Having the quality of courage means that you are willing to take risk in achieving your goals with no assurance of success. I'm always the kind of person who want to take risks, so I definitely can say that, I have that kind of courage. Excuse me. Because there is no certainty in life or business, every commitment that you make and every action you take entails a risk at some kind. So don't be afraid to take risk. Another leadership trait of mine is also integrity. The core of integrity is truthfulness. Integrity requires that you always tell the truth to everyone in every situation. It's very, very important to be truthful to people, and truthfulness is really the foundation quality of trust that is necessary for success of any business. So build trust with your staff, build trust with your student. Also, as a counselor, the moment I meet my students, it's always my goal to establish that rapport with them and build that trust with them. Otherwise, they're not going to trust me. So it's very, very important to establish and build that trust and relationship with your staff and with your students. Another one of my leadership traits is humility. Great leaders are those who are strong and decisive, but also humble. Humility doesn't mean that you are weak or unsure of yourself. It means that you have the self-confidence and self-awareness to recognize the value of others without feeling threatened. So it means that you are willing to admit that sometimes you are wrong. If you're wrong, there's nothing wrong with saying to your staff, I apologize, I was wrong. It doesn't make you a weak person. It actually makes you a stronger person. So that is one thing about me, especially if I know I'm wrong, I will apologize to my students. Actually keeps, the relationship much more stronger, according to my, to me, actually. Another one of my leadership trait is strong communicator. Very, very important, to have good communication skills, especially when you are, in a leadership position. Being able to communicate effectively is a very, very important life skills in general. And as a counselor, I'm constantly speaking with my students about how important it is to communicate effectively, how important it is to communicate your feelings, how important it is to send their teachers an email and let your teachers know what's happening. So good communication skills really, really go a long way. So although, sometimes talking in front of a crowd, is, a top fear for majority of us, for my student, and sometimes for myself as well. But conquering this fear is what makes us better leader and to become greater leaders as well. So this is something that I'm always constantly keep working on as well. Ethics. So ethics are the principles, value, and beliefs that define what is right and what is wrong behavior. So leadership is the process of influencing others to achieve goal. So ethical leadership is the process of influencing people with principles, value, and beliefs that embrace that we have defined as right behavior. The ethical leader understands that positive relationships are the gold standard for all organizational efforts. So good quality relationship build on respect and trust, not necessarily agreement, are the single most important determinant of organizational success. So ethical leaderships makes us more effective as leaders. So ethics is about, people and their relationship with one another. And also negative ethics equals negative business. So again, definitely important to build, to build trust with people. Some ethical values, in my research that I read, the 5, core moral values were, Honesty, very, very important to be honest with people. Like I said, tell the truth. Build relationship. Respect your staff, respect your students. Respect the community. Responsibility. We have a responsibility, to treat everyone, with respect, and also being fair to people, and also being compassionate. Very, very important to be compassionate to others. So all of those are great, ethical values that we have to, follow, that we have to do in order to become part of a good leader. Why do I have these qualities, and how do they impact the schools and the students? Some of these qualities are inherited from my parents. I grew up, in a family full of servant leaders, as well as educators. I have a lot of those same qualities as my aunt, who was also my kindergarten teacher. She has that visionary style where she believes in her students, and she knows, what's best for their academic, social, and emotional learning. And I learned a lot from my aunt, and she wasn't just my aunt, she was also my teacher and also my mentor. I feel that I am, a natural born leader because of her. And when I reflect on my position as a counselor, I realize that these qualities and traits have served me well as a counselor over the years, and I will continue to guide my students on decision-making process, as well as assisting them in creating an academic plan for their education. I will also continue to become an empathetic listener who have the ability to make my students feel comfortable. And these qualities and traits will continue to serve me very well as a future administrator. And what qualities need to improve or adopted? I would like to see some improvement on my pragmatic qualities. Pragmatists have high standards, and they have, very high expectations of themselves. And I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a very competitive person. I'm not, I'm a very, driven person, but I'm not competitive. So I would definitely like to see myself working harder on becoming maybe a little bit more competitive in that sense. But I am driven, and I have very high standards and expectation. I'm just sometimes not very good at delegating things to people, so I would love to work on that skill as well. So although this, pragmatic style is the least common of all the leadership style, I would like to see myself improve in some of those areas where I can feel more comfortable as a leader. Standard correlation, the assignment definitely aligned with the standard correlations. It gave me an opportunity to reflect on my knowledge and skills as a school counselor, and also how to model ethical behavior. And I am starting to think about what type of leader I want to be, and what are my leadership styles. Understand my leadership style will be better prepare me to become an effective leader. Relevant. This assignment was extremely relevant to my learning as a future leader. As a school counselor, I'm already leading and serving my students and family. So this assignment was able to help me reflect on my natural qualities, traits, and abilities, and it also helped me understand my leadership styles and how to be a successful leader. Most importantly, I learned that there are multiple areas that I need to grow in order to become a better leader. Reflection. This assignment was extremely important, not only for my current position as a school counselor, but also as a future administrator. I am more aware of what my quality traits are and what my leadership styles are. What are the things that I can do to better serve others? What can I do to continue to support my students and family? And as a future leader and administrator, it's important to know, your leadership style in order to understand how to work with different people. So I want to continue to create positive relationship with my students and families. And lastly, effective communication, listening, and maintain positive relationship with my students and families and staff. And these are my APA references. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and I will see you for the next presentation.